I got 7 o'clock Verizon time. First thing on the agenda, we have a public hearing for our 2022 town budget. This is preliminary budget. It's been posted on the website for a couple of weeks now. And you had a little notice you have to read?
Yeah.
Please.
Notice hereby given that a preliminary budget of the town of Farmington for the fiscal year 2022 has been completed and filed in the office of the town clerk, 1000 County Road 8, where it is available for inspection by any interested persons during all regular scheduled office hours. Further notice is given that the town board of the town of Farmington will meet and review said preliminary budget and hold a public hearing thereon at the Farmington Town Hall at 7 p.m. on the 12th of October 2021. At such hearing, any person may be heard in favor of or against the preliminary budget as compiled or for or against any items therein contained. Further, the following is a summary of the entire preliminary budget. Total appropriations, $22,462,827. Less estimated revenue of $14,469,843. Less fund balances / appropriated reserves, $4,595,619. Amount to be raised by taxes is $3,397,365. Further notice is hereby given pursuant to section 108 of the town law. The following are the proposed yearly salaries of town officials of the town of Farmington. Supervisor, including budget officer, is $61,137.10. The 4 councilmen, $5,850.46. The highway superintendent, including park superintendent, is $87,087.88. Town clerk, including receiver of taxes and assessment, $64,015.83. 2 town justices, each for $25,114.31 by order of the town board.
Thank you, Michelle. So the memo that I produced with the preliminary budget, with the help of Janine Marciano, our principal account clerk, and Marcy Daniels, my confidential secretary. The general fund appropriations for the 2022 budget is up approximately $266,000. And from the 2021 budget, and that includes capital projects and highway appropriations. Revenues in both funds, which allow the tax rate decrease from $110,000 to a new assessed value of $1.02 per thousand, which is down approximately 7%. The drainage district is flat this year at 21 cents per thousand. The fire district tax rate is down 4.75%. Water expenses continue and expected revenues are flat. The water tax rate will go up 6% for 2022. 4 sidewalk districts, tax rates are up, 2 are down, and there's 1 new sidewalk district for 2022. New in the budget this year is increased funds for the Victor Farmington Ambulance Corps. It'll be a separate line on the budget. In the preliminary budget, we have $150,000 in funds. That would be a new 14-cent tax per thousand of assessed value in the general fund, using general fund money. The overall good news, the town board staff worked very hard on the 2022 budget. This has made the process a success, in my opinion, and a model for future budgets. As I said, the budget has been given to the town board. At this time, since it's been posted on the website, I don't think anybody in the public has questions or comments. I'll ask for that at this time. Anybody online for questions on the preliminary budget? Overall, on the budget, I don't see any major changes between now and the end of the month when we can approve the final budget. The only thing that the board could discuss is that total $150,000 funds for the ambulance corps, which is a new tax rate of 14 cents per thousand. If you wanted to reduce that initial tax burden to the residents, we could use some VLT money on that, so don't know what the thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned before, and that was what it was had 75 of VLT to offset that.
Half VLT and half tax rate.
That would be my preference.
VLT money to 150. That's how I feel about it.
Pardon?
I would add VLT money to 150 because I have a different opinion on what they're needing.
Yeah, I'd favor using the VLT.
50/50.
Yeah, 50/50.
All right, so approximately that tax rate would go from 14 cents to down around 7 cents. Right, we can make that change in the budget. I'll notify you of anything else that comes up. We still have a union contract to approve with the water and sewer employees, not all employees of water and sewer, but the ones that are in the union. They did have a meeting this afternoon and rejected our comments, so I'm waiting on some feedback from there. But overall, it shouldn't have a big effect on the water and sewer budgets. Obviously, it doesn't affect general funds or anything else like that. Staff, any comments on the 2022 budget? You're going to get paid? Good thing. Yeah, once in a while. Any final comments or questions from the public? All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is to call this meeting to order for town board October 12th. And we do a pledge of allegiance. Ed Heminger, would you lead us, please?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ed. And we do have Mr. Piper on. Next thing is approval of the minutes for our town board meeting on September 28th.
So,
Motion second. Any comments, corrections, additions? All in favor? Aye. Privilege of the floor or public concerns? Anybody privilege of the floor or public concerns? Anybody online? Privilege of the floor or public concerns? All right, in the meeting, we'll come back to it also. Reports of standing committees, Public Works.
Public Works, right here this morning, right in this room. Got updates from water and sewer and then highway and parks. I'll start with water and sewer. At the treatment plant, MRB is still working on design for wagon road to change the pump to a different type. The flow meters are going to be moved out of the Grove subdivision into Dohaven sometime next week. They still have work on the belt press that they need to do yet. The AC unit that cools the controls for the UV disinfectant has been having some issues. They're working on that. We're also trying to get quotes for cleaning out digester number 1. And the check valves for PS19 are in, and as soon as they get the gasket, they'll be just installing them. The design work for 332 water main has been completed. Getting things ready to get that project underway. The sewer main on Collett Road, most of the parts are finally in, and I believe we have a resolution tonight to award a quote to get that to repair finished tonight. They did the paving at the sewer plant, and they're working on a backfill on the edges and topsoil. The manhole work is still going on too as well. Pretty much it for them. The highway, the normal maintenance, they've done paving and stuff on Canandaigua Town Line Road. The binder's all been put down. They've been doing some wedging around town on some of the other roads. I know it's County Road 41, I know it's over there and a few other roads. Been doing some paving and shoulder work, and that's the wedging you've been doing. And mowers are continuing to work around the town to one more time, hopefully to get some cooler weather and stop the grass growth. The trucks have been doing some shared service work with the county and some of the other towns that to work with. And they had a pipe that plugged and they had to do some flushing and cleaning on the pipe across the culvert. The parks, doing parks maintenance, mowing, trimming. And they did a plumbing repair on the highway department building. And they're getting ready for fall cleanup in the parks, and that's all I have.
Thanks, Ron. Town operations.
Town operations met this morning. We have a couple of resolutions we can talk about as they come up. Comprehensive plan update, public hearing. I think there was September 28th, October 28th, Thursday. Be at 6:30, be in person and Zoom, and the link will be sent out for that. The final edition will be posted for public review. Then we'll have to have a public hearing. I think it's at a 90-day review period. Right.
Once you do the final document.
Final draft in 90 days. So it'll most likely be early in 22, but it will be officially adopted, but it is the 21 plan. The Auburn Meadows, they continue work, sections 7N and 8N. Moving along there. 8S is the letter of credit that we have, I believe. No, let's have, there's a letter of credit for section 8S. Monarch Manor section 2, working on a revised letter of credit for that one, and the pre-construction meetings, they're going to continue working that project. Still working for the Farmington Market Center, the proposal for the incentive zone that they're looking for there. Delaware River Solar, we have now got most of the signatures on our many-time revised decommissioning plan. Working on that, but we're still waiting on the decision from the judge. And there are some stats in the building department that I'll let Dan discuss. You requested to go over those, and everything else will be posted on the website.
Yep. All right, thanks, Hank. Reports from town officials, supervisor. This morning I had a monthly meeting with the county, Ventura County Economic Development Committee. A lot of new businesses reaching out between the Economic Development Committee and the IDA. That was about a 2.5-hour meeting this morning. Lately, they've been working on the water and sewer union agreement along with Councilman Holtz. And as I mentioned earlier this afternoon, they turned that down. So we'll try and get some details and try and move forward. Also, last week, this week, working on with some resident concerns, the water pressures in Auburn Meadows. We did have MRB install flow meters in Auburn Meadows almost 2 weeks ago, and we're looking at that data now, and then we'll sometime, hopefully the end of this week, I'll schedule a meeting with some of the concerned citizens in Auburn Meadows. We still believe it's not our problem, but the instant hot water heaters that require more maintenance than residents are used to. So we'll try and address that. Because we also saw that in Hickory Rise a couple of years ago. Then we'll move the flow meters over to Dohaven. So I met one resident on Tudor Way. And so we'll put the flow meters over in that direction next and double check our water pressure from the water mains. The sewer flow meters have been in the Grove subdivision for quite a while, and they are about to be removed and then replaced in the Bohemian subdivision. And we just use that for future funding plannings. We wait for the rain to see if we have high flows. And if we need to, either do camera water lines, or we need to fix manholes because of extra water being put into the system on a rain event. So sewer flow meters help us for that. That's all I had. Highway and parks.
As Ron mentioned, we've been doing some work over town line, paving, got all the binder in on that. Actually, the striping here in the last day or two started to take place, and that really makes the roads change a lot when you put them stripes on. I'll be honest, I was getting quite concerned with the shortage of paint and how long the stripes are around town, but they're starting to look pretty well. Guys are continuing to do some whiting on some of the roads that we intend on oil and stoning next year, getting the edges and white lines back, so that there's pavement out there, and some of the wheel tracks graded up, which helps out along the winter months as well as the hydroplaning. We will be starting to gear up on the hill for the fall cleanup, which is Friday from 8 till 6, and Saturday from 8 till 3. Preparation, that's just always go over to big cat folks who like that late season cleanup time frame. With Canandaigua Farmington Town Line Road, our last drop inlet, when we were prepping to put that in as originally designed, we come to the conclusion that the grade just wasn't quite enough fall to make that work correctly. In conversation with Greg Schultz and New York's DLT, we found an alternative solution of going through that berm over to Plank crosses 332, which in the grand scheme of things is going to work better than the original plan. Dave and Greg from MRB are working on a map for DLT, and as soon as we get that map in place, the DLT will continue to work to get that drained. Orange guys mowing continuously, the grass is just growing wild. That's it.
Thanks, Don. Town clerk.
We're just looking, collecting water and sewer and all this season, and we're working on still some mapping, records management. That's it.
Thank you. Water and sewer.
The crew started today, sucking out wet wells. Before the weather changes, and some of them haven't been touched in a while, and they're in pretty bad shape. So we're getting them clean. And, we're talking about the flows, the flow meters. Actually, some of the manhole lining we've done so far this year is slow. I mean, there was some pretty good infiltration on it, some of those manholes. So it's definitely helped.
Good. That's, I mean, since we started fixing manholes 4 or 5 years ago, even though we've had a large increase in sewer customers between Farmington and Victor, our average daily inflow hasn't gone up that much. So I think that's attributed a lot to we fixed the leaks. So the water was flowing into the system. So every year we raise in the budget more money for I&I to not only tackle manholes, but camera systems and repairing systems as we move forward. So that's good news, right? Building and zoning.
All right, we've been busy with the fire department out at Terrace Lane Apartments. There are some issues up there that we're working through. The stats, as Councilman Bowerman stated, for September, we did 69 permits, bringing our total year permits to 792. Inspections were 292 inspections, bringing our total inspections for the year to 2,346 inspections. In September, we did 19 follow-up fire inspections, 15 stormwater inspections, and 50 zoning inspections.
Also, something I would like to comment about was an email that was sent out by the supervisor about park ban fees representing all of our new houses. And those are record numbers this year and above budget. So things have been busy down.
Yeah, they track new home permits and I track through the town clerk's office when they pay the parklands fee for each new residence in town. And we were at 125 at the end of last month, which is, last year we did 130. So we've still got a couple months of reporting for people, paying fees for that. So it hasn't slowed up. That's for sure. Planning board.
Yeah, the meeting coming up on the 20th, we've got the Lewisburg Industrial Park, it was already been continued, it's gonna be continued again to the second meeting in November for both the special use and for the preliminary site plan. Then we have another continued site plan for Paul Gillette, for the storage units off of Collette and Denny. And then a new public hearing for Jim and Nancy Falanga for a 2-lot subdivision. So that's what they'll be addressing. I'll be in Florida, but they'll be taking care of. Yep.
Good for you. Ron Moran, Director of Planning and Development.
Yeah, okay. First of all, in that comprehensive plan, the committee is required to hold a public hearing, which they're scheduling for the 28th of this month. They'll take input, make any changes necessary, and then ship it over to the town board. Once the town board gets the final draft document, they have 90 days to schedule a public hearing on it. Then it also has to go through the county planning board process and seeker. So that's why, as Councilman Bowerman stated, we're looking at maybe late January, February, by the time you work through all the calendars of all those various regulations. There are some changes coming along to the site design and development criteria. We learned that the most recent project there at the corner of 96 and Commercial Drive, the ice cream store and beauty salon, those lights fall within the right of way of the state DOT. And the state DOT wants design guidelines for breakaways. So they've asked us to work on that. And we've got MRB moving forward on that. On the Delaware River Solar Project, we do have now signed documents. They've been notarized. The special legal counsel is looking at them, and they'll be filed in the county clerk's office hopefully this week. Next up would be a letter of credit that we're still waiting on them to submit. They know they have to do that. Once they submit the letter of credit, it's filed with the clerk's office, then Dan will schedule a pre-construction meeting for that project. And then one more item, and that came in this afternoon, and that is we have a resubmission from Angelo Ingracia, the Tops Plaza incentive zoning project with new amenities and new incentives that he's looking for. So we'll be working internally with staff on that to see if we can accept that and recommend it be forwarded to the town board consideration. And we'll have an answer for you at the next meeting. Other than that, we continue to move forward, try and keep the building department busy.
And the planning board.
Sure.
All right, thanks, Ron. Town engineer, Bill.
Yeah, just a few things, reiterate again, we finally get approval on Brickyard Road tank, so we'll be bidding that project over the course of November, taking bids and hopefully awarding in December. We have Collette Road Sewer on the docket for tonight, so as soon as that resolution is complete, we'll be moving to get a contract and a pre-con meeting as soon as we can with the contractor on that project. Hopefully get that done. Waiting on DOH for 33296 water main replacement, and we're working on the design along Route 332 right now. I'm going right there. We will be prepping, we have grant submission of sewer, from pump station one, the redirection of the force main coming, so. We have, the town will be, coordinating with bond council for a bond resolution, which is a stipulation of that grant application, so. We'll have to do that probably next board meeting, so.
Okay,
Questions?
thank you. Assessor Michelle, you on? Michelle Nicodemus, are you on tonight? Okay, recreation. The only thing I know, we got a trunk and treat coming up, right?
Correct.
What's the date on that again? For the record?
23rd,
23rd?
noon to 2,
Noon to 2. Okay.
Town Park.
All right. Good. Finance committee, the only thing I got really besides the preliminary budget tonight is we should expect to see the third quarter sales tax figures from the county in the next 2 weeks. Communications are on file. Reports and minutes are on file. Resolution. Over here. First resolution is authorizing acceptance of the monthly report of the supervisor for September 2021.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. First resolution introducing a local law to opt out of allowing cannabis retail dispensers and on-site cannabis consumption sites in the town of Farmington and scheduling a public hearing for October 26th, our next meeting at 7 p.m. in the Farmington Town Hall, and that requires a roll call vote.
Second.
Motion in a second. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Engelsby,
Aye.
Councilman Baumann.
Aye.
Councilman Yardy.
Aye.
Councilman Seer.
Aye.
Councilman Holtz.
Okay, so just, it is, the public hearing will be set for our next meeting on the 26th. And at that time, we'll hear any public for or against the doing a delay of the New York State law on cannabis. There's only two things we can regulate. One is the sale of it in the town, and one of it is the use of it in business that would, advertised for the cannabis. One of the other things on a separate note, that Councilman Bauerman mentioned was, does that include smoking in our parks? So that would be a separate public hearing to change the rules, because if you ban smoking regular cigarettes, you almost got to include the cannabis, and you've got to include the vaping. Look for some comments from staff on that, and the town board will look at that for a future public hearing. All in favor? Aye.
Well, we did the roll call.
We did it all. That's right.
It's still in favor.
Didn't we? Resolution 3 is authorizing the permanent hiring of August Gordner as a result of scoring the top 3 in the competitive examination for code enforcement officer and transitioning provisional to a permanent appointment. So, motion is second. Comments, questions? All in favor? Aye. 4 is a resolution authorizing probation hiring as a result of scoring in the top 3 in competitive examination for code enforcement officer and transitioning from provisional to probation appointment. So, motion in a second on this end. Any comments?
Got it worded right?
Yes. Okay. All in favor? Aye. 5 is a resolution approving the request for a partial release of funds, release number 5 from the letter of credit for utility site improvements, phase one, Hathaway's Corners and Center zoning project in the amount of $984,820.58.
So, second.
Motion to second. Comments, questions? You're still over 1.6 million balance and a letter of credit after this approval. All in favor? Aye. 6 is a resolution appointing Jordy Binnix to the zoning board of appeals for a term to expire on December 31st, 2022.
So moved.
Motion is second. We have Jody in the audience tonight.
Come say hello. Thank you.
Thank you for stepping on the plate. Any comments, questions? Glad to fill the vacancy.
Honestly, it was nice not to show up.
It's a couple stars, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 7 is a resolution hiring the Holtz Forest and Shade Tree LLC for removal of 12 additional trees from the Power Cemetery.
So moved. Second.
And this is continued work that we've allowed. It's budgeted through one of the accounts the historian has. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
And 1 abstention. 8th resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign a 1-year contract agreement with Green Renewable Inc. for grinding of the brush pile located at 420 Hook Road at a cost not to exceed $7,300.
So moved.
Motion to the second. Again, this is lately been an annual contract. Only 1 or 2 companies out there that do this. And the nice thing about it is they also take the second pile of material that we have there and grind it a second time for the residents to use. All in favor? Aye. Number 9 is a resolution of appreciation for New York State Senator Helmy for her leadership in obtaining a state grant funding assistance to enable improvements at the town park restroom facilities.
Second.
Motion by Mark, second by Steve. Again, this is, she was very successful in assisting with us in getting a $75,000 grant, which upgraded the Pumpkin Hook Park and the town park for ADA compliance. And then the town, we spent some more money on over and above that on fixtures and all that to upgrade the bathroom. And that requires a roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Husky.
Aye.
Councilman Brennan.
Aye.
Councilman Aaron
Aye.
Councilman Castel.
Aye.
Councilman Welch.
And require signatures. Give a second for that.
We'll better this up.
Who's that?
Can we block the next three?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Why? Any objections to blocking on 11/12? Hearing none. These are resolutions to, only this time of year, to move money around in order to pay the bills. We've got one in the contingent to engineering, one from capital projects, governments to the construction side of the capital project. And the third one, budget amendment from contractuals in the water to engineering in the water. We have a motion for all three.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 13 is the abstract 19/20/2021 pay bills. General fund, $51,612.48. Highway fund, $95,460.68. Beaver Creek Park, $420.44. Water tank repair, $189. Town Line Road Capital Project, $86,145.08. Storm drainage, $1,474.28. Sewer district, $157,211.18. Water district, $375,907.99. Payroll deductions, $32.40 for a total abstract, $768,461.53.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Comments, questions, extensions?
I've got to abstain on 21-1783. Most of that was water.
Right. Okay. And motion second, all in favor? Aye. We don't have any training on $100, just a real quick, discussion. The address of 6427 State Route 96, the son of the gentleman that passed away is just catching up with, the bills. And there's a penalty of $17.50 on sewer. We normally don't allow waiving of this, so I'm just gonna pay. The gentleman passed away,
Yeah, I'll go for that.
I'll pay it out of my funds, and we'll take care of it, but we told the son this morning that we would discuss it, and then Marcy and I were like, why did we do that? Why did we tell them that? Why don't we just go ahead and pay it? So we want to at least bring it up. We do have an executive session. Is there any objections to the waiver of the rule? We take care of that first. Any objections to the waiver of the rule? All right, we have one resolution for waiver of the rule, and that's to reward emergency work and collect road sewer line replacement for villager construction. At cost not to exceed $215,000. So
Second.
motion is second. Again, this is the emergency repair of the sewer line out in front of ESL and across the road from American Equipment. 950 feet of sewer line and 5+ manholes that need to be replaced. And we did receive 3 bids. The lowest one is from Villager right across the street, and that's $215,000. The others were very, very close.
That travel time.
Yeah, the traffic.
Just well.
Yep, so, they're able to start the work right away. So as soon as we get the contract back and forth between us and MRB, we'll get that going. Any staff comment, questions? All right, a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So before we go into executive session, any other comments, public concerns? We're being brought to the board. Okay, I got an executive session, I have a motion to go into executive session. So, motion by Mike, second by Nate. All in favor? Aye. And this will probably last at least a half an hour, so don't expect anybody to sit around.
Adrian,